The title of this video may seem hyperbolic, but by the end of it, you'll see my reasoning for why it isn't. Unity is one of the most licensed game engines in the world, and it's used to power everything from Genshin Impact to VR chat. And if you're a gamer, chances are you've played a game recently that uses Unity engine. Well, just yesterday, Unity made a change to their pricing model that could negatively impact the entire game industry, customers and developers alike. What's new is that they now have the Unity runtime fee. This Unity runtime fee, in the most comically evil move that I've ever seen in the game industry, and in an industry with EA that's really saying something. They will be charging developers every time the customer installs a game. Now, I want to be clear about this. This is not per sale. They have explicitly clarified that this is per installation. Journalist Stephen Totilo reaching out to Unity about clarification. Here's what he had to say in a tweet quote, "I got some clarifications from Unity regarding their plan to charge developers per game install, after clearing thresholds. If a player deletes a game and reinstalls it, that's 2 installs, 2 charges. Same if they put it on 2 devices. Charity games/bundles exempted from fees. This means that every time you install and uninstall a game, the developer will be charged for it by Unity." Now you might be wondering, how much are they going to charge? And if you're a developer, they put out this lovely chart to tell you how much they're going to rob you for. If you have the Unity Personal or Unity Plus plan, the moment you sell over 200,000 units, you'll be paying 20 cents per installation. With Unity Pro, once you reach 1 million, Unity begins to tax you 15 cents per installation. And once you cross over 1 million again, they only charge a whopping 2 cents per installation, and a penny per installation once you cross that with Unity Enterprise. You may notice that it says when you reach an install threshold. This means that they are actually punishing you for success. You see, once you reach the install threshold, that's when they begin to charge you for the installations. There is also no cap whatsoever on how much you may owe Unity. So you know how people bot Metacritic user scores? Well, imagine people running bots for installing and uninstalling a Unity game over and over and over again. With enough people and enough devices, you could make a developer go out of business, and these trolls would be making Unity richer the whole time. Does this sound asinine, greedy, almost comically evil in how ridiculous it is? I had to read this over and over to make sure that I wasn't misunderstanding something. But no, this is really how things are going to go. Now you might be thinking, certainly this is only going to apply to new games using Unity, so everyone will just abandon Unity going forward, and it won't be a big issue for currently existing Unity games, right? While logically this would be the case, it's absolutely not here, as they are retroactively applying this, as according to Unity's blog, effective January 1st, 2024, this will apply to all existing Unity games. So while it won't be counting any installations that happened before January 1st, it will be counting all the installations going forward. This means even if you built your game on Unity 5 years ago, if that game is still being installed on someone's PC somewhere, you owe Unity engine money. As you can imagine, this has caused many developers, especially smaller developers, to be extremely panicked about their future. Developer Aggro Crab has had this to say, "Guess who has a somewhat highly anticipated game coming to Xbox Game Pass in 2024? That's right, it's us, and a lot of other developers. That means another Crab's Treasure will be free to install for 25 million Game Pass subscribers. If a fraction of those users download our game, Unity could take a fee that puts an enormous dent in our income and threatens the sustainability of our business." This is the reality that many developers are facing right now, but I know that there are some people who still don't care, as it doesn't directly impact them. But that's where they're wrong. I think it's absolutely going to impact the consumer. This essentially strong arms the developer into passing this cost on to the consumer. This is especially going to put bigger games like the entire Hoyoverse, which runs on Unity, to have a stronger need it to squeeze more cash out of its user base. Because every time someone downloads this game and installs it, it's going to cost them money. And still, somehow it gets worse. There really isn't a clear way for the Unity runtime to tell if a game is pirated or not, meaning that developers will actually lose money, literally, if you pirate the game now. And not just lose money in a hypothetical sales sense, but they will actually be charged for the installation on Unity games. Also, I'm not a lawyer, so I can't tell you if this is insider trading, but CEO John Riccitiello sold over 2,000 of the company's shares just days before this new pricing model was announced. For those unfamiliar, he also used to be a CEO for EA, which who could say they're surprised? You might also be thinking these developers should really switch over to something like Unreal Engine, and trust me, many of them are scrambling to find different options right now. However, you should know that switching engines isn't a solution for this problem. For starters, switching from Unity to Unreal or any other engine is going to take developers a tremendous amount of learning time, especially those who have had years of experience with Unity. Secondly, this is going to impact games that were already built with Unity. So if you already have a released game out there, unless you completely port that game to a brand new engine, which can be about as difficult as remaking the game altogether, this isn't a viable option. Unity and their corporate greed has cornered these developers, and it's doing something that I think should be outright illegal. But my absolute worst fear about all of this is still one that's yet to come, and that's the fear that this becomes normalized. All it takes is for one company to be able to successfully do this, and for them to get away with it and make record profits, and before you know it, it's the standard. Thus far, not even companies like Adobe are this evil, but once they see this and see what they can get away with, you can believe they're gonna charge you $1 every time you reinstall Photoshop. Takes me back to the days of the horse armor discourse in Oblivion. Everyone thought that was ridiculous. However, even still, it's helped normalize microtransactions in games. It's entirely possible that if they get away with this, one of the biggest engines in the world, an engine that's even used by large companies like Nintendo, if they are able to successfully go through with this, all of these charges will be passed on to the consumer in some way, and it'll create a significantly harsher environment for small and mid-sized developers. As of right now, there is no clear course of action. We have to hope that all these developers and their combined lawyers are able to stop Unity from doing this. But until then, this is one of the most greedy actions that I've ever seen any company in the entire game industry do, and it is something that is going to fundamentally hurt gaming as we know it.